Imagine the scene. A nation stands on the edge of freedom, the taste of liberation so close, yet so far. Behind them, the culmination of 400 years of slavery. Before them, an impassable sea, a watery grave. And on the horizon, a storm of dust and Iron Pharaoh's army, the most feared military machine on earth, closing in for the kill. There is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The cries of 1,000,000 people rise in a chorus of terror and despair. They are trapped. This is the story of the Exodus, but it's more than just a historical account. It's a story of desperation, of faith against all odds, and of a deliverance so profound it has echoed through millennia. It's a moment where human impossibility met divine intervention. As the thunder of 60,000 hooves grew louder, as the glint of bronze helmets and the sharp points of spears filled the horizon, a single man, Moses, stood before the churning waters of the Red Sea. Imagine the pressure on his shoulders. The people he led, now turning on him, accusing him of leading them to their deaths. He raises his staff, not as a king or a general, but as a servant. And then the impossible happens. A wind, fierce and relentless, begins to howl. It whips the sea into a frenzy, not pushing it back, but tearing it apart. The waters don't just recede, they rise. They rise into two colossal, liquid walls, standing impossibly high on either side. In the center, where moments before there was only a churning abyss, a path of dry land appears. A pathway through the heart of the sea. Can you picture the sheer awe, the mix of terror and wonder, walking between two towering walls of water, with fish and marine life swimming as if in a vertical aquarium? The ground beneath their feet is not mud, but dry earth. They walk, a nation of refugees, through the very heart of the obstacle that was meant to destroy them. It's a corridor of salvation, a miracle unfolding step by step. They reach the other side, turning back to see the path that saved them. But the story isn't over. Pharaoh, blinded by arrogance and rage, sees not a divine miracle, but a tactical opportunity. He orders his chariots to charge into the seabed. They are trapped. He must have thought, seeing the Israelites on the far shore. His charioteers, the elite of his army, thunder down the path, their wheels churning the dry ground. Confident in their power, they reach the middle of the sea. The chariots, the horses, the soldiers, all enclosed within this surreal tunnel of water. The might of Egypt condensed into a single, vulnerable column. And then, as the last Israelite steps onto the far shore, Moses again raises his hand. The wind ceases. For a split second, there is a terrifying, unnatural silence. The walls of water, held back by a power beyond understanding, begin to quiver, and then they collapse. Not gently, but with the force of 1,000 tsunamis. A cataclysm of churning water, foam, and raw power crashes down. The towering walls of salvation for one people become the instrument of judgment for another. Imagine the chaos. The screams of men, the terror of horses, the splintering of wood and the clang of metal, all instantly silenced by the crushing weight of the sea. The elite army of a superpower erased in a single, earth-shattering moment. The Red Sea, once a barrier to freedom, now becomes a barrier of protection. The waters close, and there is silence. The surface of the sea returns to normal, as if nothing ever happened, hiding the wreckage of an empire's pride beneath its waves. On the far shore, the Israelites stand, not just as survivors, but as witnesses. They have seen the raw power of the divine, a demonstration that a force greater than any earthly army was on their side. This moment wasn't just about an escape. It was the birth of a nation's faith, forged in the crucible of absolute despair and spectacular deliverance. It's a story that reminds us that sometimes the greatest obstacles in our path can become the very backdrop for our most profound miracles. If this story of faith, power, and incredible history resonates with you, and you want to explore more epic events that have shaped our world, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We journey through history to uncover the moments that defy explanation. Thanks for watching.